Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at the Silk Road. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with special editions on Thursdays. Moving right along, mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Where was the Silk Road? What was the purpose of the road? Who built the Silk Road? Today we will answer these questions as we take a look at this unique system of trade routes throughout Eurasia. The Silk Road was not just one trail, but rather a unique network of Eurasian trade routes. These routes were active from the 2nd century before the Common Era until the mid-15th century. The routes span some 6,400 kilometers, which is roughly 4,000 miles. It played a central role in facilitating economic, cultural, political, and religious interactions between the East and the West. The name the Silk Road was first coined in the late 19th century. However, it has fallen into disuse among most modern scholars in favor of the Silk Routes. This is because it better describes the intricate web of land and sea routes connecting East and Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, Central Asia, the Middle East, East Africa, and of course Europe. Where then does the Silk Road derive its name? The name comes from the highly lucrative trade of silk textiles that were produced almost exclusively in China. The network began with the Han Dynasty's expansion into Central Asia around 114 before the Common Era. This then pacified the once untamed region. The imperial envoy, Zhang Qian, was commissioned to explore the unknown lands beyond the region in search of potential trading partners and allies. The information gathered by these expeditions piqued Chinese interest and prompted formal diplomatic and commercial dispatches, as well as efforts to protect the routes with soldiers and an expansion of the Great Wall. The expansion of the Parthian Empire, which stretched from eastern Anatolia to Afghanistan, provided a bridge to East Africa and the Mediterranean, which of course led to trade with the Roman Empire. By the early 1st century of the Common Era, Chinese silk was widely sought after, especially in Rome, Greece, and Egypt. Other lucrative commodities from the East included tea, dyes, perfumes, and porcelain. What did the Westerners export to the East? These shipments included horses, camels, honey, wine, and gold. Aside from generating substantial wealth for the emerging mercantile classes, the proliferation of goods such as paper and gunpowder greatly altered the trajectory of various realms, if not world history. During its roughly 1,500 years of existence, the Silk Road endured the rise and fall of numerous empires and major calamities such as the Black Death and the Mongol conquest. Nevertheless, after almost every major disruption, the network re-emerged more strongly than before. This was most evident under the Yuan dynasty. Kublai Khan was renowned in his ensuring that the Silk Road remained a highly decentralized network. However, the journey was still perilous and security was sparse. Travelers were plagued by constant threats of banditry and nomadic raiders. Let's not forget the long expanses of inhospitable terrain. Few individuals actually crossed the entirety of the Silk Road. Instead, they relied on a succession of middlemen based at various stopping points along the way. The Silk Road trade played a significant role in opening up economic and political relations between China, Korea, Japan, India, Iran, Europe, and the Horn of Africa and Arabia. In addition to goods, the network facilitated unprecedented exchange of ideas, religions, philosophies, and scientific discoveries. Likewise, a wide variety of people used the routes, including migrants, refugees, missionaries, artisans, diplomats, and soldiers. One of the most famous historical figures to traverse the Silk Road was the Venetian merchant Marco Polo. He was among the earliest Westerners to visit and describe the East. Unfortunately, diseases such as the Black Plague were possibly transmitted across the Silk Road. Despite repeatedly surviving many geopolitical changes and disruptions, the Silk Road abruptly ended with the rise of the Ottoman Empire in 1453. This immediately severed trade between the East and West. This prompted European efforts to seek alternative routes to the riches of the East, thereby launching the Age of Discovery. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. If you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a channel sponsor. Your support will enable us to continue to provide you with quality videos, and buying me a coffee always makes my day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.